Hello, beautiful. So something happened to me this morning, and it makes me want to share about the reactivity of highly sensitive people, HSP. As some of you know, this is actually day 99 of my 100-day experiment to change my life, which started with the separation from my husband and a bunch of other little things. If you want to follow that, check out all my videos from that 100 days. But anyway, about HSP. I rented this Airbnb for 3 months for 100 days, and I'm on day 99 today. And in 3 days, I have to move. I'm in Sedona, and the pickings are slim or extremely expensive. So I've been looking, and it's been like a little bit stressful. I made videos about that too, how to develop my trust and all that. So in the last few days, I've been in contact about a property that I intended to rent. And last night I went to see it, and it was like, yeah, that's gonna work. This morning, meditated for like an hour plus it's not exactly my first choice, but it will do very nicely. So I meditated to bring all that peace and imagining myself there and all that. And I was doing this like before confirming the booking. So I finished my meditation, I go to the computer, I have an email, somebody just did an instant booking and the property is no longer available. So here's the reactivity part and what I want to talk about. So of course, my first reaction was like, no, like this can't be. We were talking, I thought it was reserved and I thought blah, blah, blah. And what am I gonna do? I have to move in 3 days and there's like nothing available in Sedona. That lasted about 30 minutes. And then I thought, you know what? I've got to trust. Life is saying no to this because it has something else in mind. Of course, I don't like that last minute stuff and stressing me out like this, but I decided to actually take a breath. And as somebody told me a few days ago about the stress of not having a place to move or not having the right place to move into, just a small inconvenience on my way to greatness. So I repeated that in my head and it was like, okay, I'm at peace. I decided to go to a natural spring and get some water, some spring water, fill out my jug, because that always brings me joy. On the way back, I was thinking, this is something that I do all the time. This high reactivity when something happens. And I was kind of mulling this over, and with my new commitment of talking about chronic illness and HSP, I thought, but wait, this is actually our nature. We have a different nervous system that feels deeply, more deeply than 80% of the population, and it's physiological. So I think it's so important to accept and embrace that this is how we are designed. And for people outside who are not HSP, they can say, oh, come on, mind over matters, stop being so overreactive. But it's actually quite impossible. And I was thinking it's like trying to train people to put their hand over a flame and say, don't take it out so quickly. Just mind over matter and just be there and say, ouch, And of course, with training, masters can leave their hand and take the pain, but we're not spiritual masters. I'm not anyway. So I just wanted to bring up that idea that we have to embrace that, expect that, hopefully have people around us that will not judge that or blame it or think that there's something wrong with us and we need to fix it or develop our mind control over our emotions. It is how we're designed. Now, if we work on some more enlightened ways to live, we can notice the overreactivity, which is not really over, because over suggests that there's something wrong. I need to find a different word for that. The intensity of our reactivity, and just say it's okay, but understand that it is a nervous system reaction and that we have a choice after the actual physiological, emotional reaction has happened to bring in our wisdom and say, okay, take a breath, think of trust, think of all the stuff that we practice and our higher principles, and accept life and don't resist, and all the good ways of living that I preach. But it's important to accept and embrace and just be okay that we are going to be intensely reactive to events and blows or things that are kind of off, or a comment that hurts us, because we are way more sensitive and perceptive and feel more deeply than 80% of the population. And this is actually not just my saying. For those of you who don't know about HSP, I discovered it, I think it's just 2 years ago, and it just blew my mind and completely changed my life and allowed me to reframe all my upbringing and the comments and the judgments of being too sensitive and thinking too much and being too loving and too exuberant and too so many things. And the book that I read was The Highly Sensitive Person. That was my opening to the HSP of who I am. It's by Dr. Elaine Aron, and she's the pioneer who wrote a book and research about highly sensitive people. I suggest that if you're interested, take a look, grab this book. I'm going to put the link below in the video description. And let's embrace who we are and understand that we will react intensely. Our emotions run deep, but the wisdom and the enlightenment comes from just once it's passed to diminish the amount of time that it takes us to recenter ourselves. But this is who we are. So HSP, we are meant to be in this world. We are important in this world. And I'm actually going to talk about this in other videos now that I've decided to talk about HSP and chronic illness. I'll see you soon. I probably will make a video tomorrow, day 100, and do a little recap of what has happened in those 100 days. I'll see you soon. I love you. Thanks for being here.